Hello everyone, today you join me inside the 2019 Mazda CX-3, kind of a small SUV, large hatchback sort of vehicle, and I'm going to be giving you guys a full review of this car. Now this is probably the second or third Mazda I've reviewed from their current lineup, and I have to say, the brand is starting to remind me of Honda from the 1990s. You don't get a ton of luxury features and cool technologies, but what you do get is a very well laid out ergonomic design that's really focused on the emotional aspect of the car and the driver experience. And altogether, it's come into a very cool platform that I can't wait to show you guys around. So let's hop out and take a look at some of the features. Now, usually when I discuss the exterior of a car like this, I'll just walk around some of the different features and technologies and design elements that the manufacturer put in the car as standard to make it more appealing to buyers like you. Unfortunately, with Mazda, this CX-3 in particular, it follows the Kodo design language, and that's Kodo, K-O-D-O. It stands for something in Japanese that neither I nor anyone else can ever remember, and it basically means that the CX-3 has no features worth mentioning. It's just standard things all around. No fancy LED headlights, no enormous alloy rims, no suspension, air lift, no power gesture lift gate in back. It's all just, you know, average features you'd find on an average Toyota or Mazda. The Kodo design language is more about all the smooth flowing lines you get all around the car rather than actual technologies. So instead of walking you around the technologies that don't exist, I figured instead I would read this poem that Mazda put on their website about the Kodo design language. And it starts like this. Like every vehicle in our lineup, the 2019 Mazda CX-3 is an expression of Kodo design. It's a language that's simple in principle and quite elegant in practice. How do you create a sense of motion out of stillness? How do you evoke emotion at a glance? It's a quality that can only be achieved by the hands of experienced Japanese artists. And when you see it, you know instantly that you're looking at a Mazda. And you know instantly that it's not going to have anything important on the exterior. So let's hop back in the interior. Now, the interior of the CX-3 kind of follows that same design language as the exterior, where it's all about the smooth flowing lines and the beautiful design and the emotion of it all when you're inside, but they did include a lot more features than the exterior, which, if you ask me, is a very good thing because it would be very barren here if there were no features at all. So we're going to start off up on the dashboard with one of the most important things in modern cars, which is the technology. It comes standard with a 7-inch infotainment screen. Here in the CX-3, you still have no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so if you want to connect your phone to this car, the only way to do that is with the Bluetooth. However, they also included a 12-volt power outlet, 2 USB chargers, and an auxiliary jack in here, so it is very easy to charge your phone or plug it in some other way if you need a little bit more power. And they included a little box area here like many other manufacturers do so that you have a place for your phone to rest as it charges. Now, right behind that little box area, we have a lot of buttons around here, and they control things like the sport mode that comes standard on this car, the auto hold that will help you to not roll back on a hill or something like that. The rest of the interior is standard with cloth, but this interior we can see is upgraded with the faux leather all around. Now, this is not quite as nice of a leather as the new Mazda 3 hatch, but it's still very comfortable and feels surprisingly premium for Mazda. Standard, the driver's seat is only 6-way manually adjustable, so if you've got more than one driver in here and you're adjusting the seat a lot, that might be a little bit of a pain to get used to. But you also get a small center console box with an armrest that I believe slides around, with a non-sliding armrest, and an analog style gauge cluster. Now, I have to say I really hate this gauge cluster because the regular speedometer is analog, but then on the side you have two very small screens, the left of which is used for the tachometer. And as I was driving the car over here to this location for filming, I couldn't find the tachometer for like the first 5 minutes, and then I finally spotted it as that very small, very low resolution screen on the left. And it's just not a great design if you want to know how fast your engine is spinning, which is kind of important. But all around, this interior has a surprisingly great design, surprisingly high quality materials. Yes, it's a little bit lacking on features, but it's about average for this class. Here under the hood, things are a lot more interesting for the CX-3 because Mazda did some unique things to this engine to make it much more efficient than a regular internal combustion engine would be, and more than every other car in this segment. It's called the Skyactiv G Mazda powertrain thing. It's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and when I heard it was originally naturally aspirated, I was kind of surprised by that decision because every other car in this segment offers turbocharged power, so you get better fuel economy and more power at the same time. But Mazda says the CX-3 Skyactiv technology powertrain doesn't need a turbo because of some other technologies they used. And these technologies range from multi-port direct injection of the gasoline to cavities in the piston heads, which actually sounds like a bad thing to me, but apparently it helps improve efficiency and reduce engine knock. Now, the main feature of this Skyactiv G technology is the very high compression ratio. Similar to what you would see in a race car, it's actually 14:1. Now, what this actually refers to is far too in-depth for this review, but basically it means that efficiency of the powertrain has been improved by 15% versus an engine without this high compression. They say power output is up to 148 horsepower and 146 pound-feet of torque. 146, if you ask me, is not a lot for this segment, so honestly, in my opinion, they would have been better off going with a turbo. However, the fuel efficiency is actually pretty impressive for this powertrain. They say in the city, you should get 29 mpg, which I believe is a lot more than every other car in this segment. So you are sacrificing a bit of power, but they're making up for it with this fuel economy. Now, going on a quick test drive, there is one downside to this Skyactiv G technology high compression ratio that you're gonna notice as soon as you turn the car on, and that's the sound. It doesn't sound like any other car in this segment. It's kind of got an annoying aspect to it, a very loud, groaning, moaning sort of rumble from right in front of you and your passengers. Kind of reminds me of a chainsaw, and that's not really a good thing. So if you're the type of person to be bothered by a loud hum that's constantly going in front of you, maybe this isn't the car for you. But if you can get past the annoying rumble, then you get an incredible driving experience. Like I said in the beginning, it's not dissimilar from a Honda. It's not fast, it's not sporty, but it's just an all-around fun car to drive. Giving a little gas here. It's not fast, and it doesn't have to be because it's an all-around fun car to drive. It's very easy to maneuver in tight parking lots, and on these back roads, it's just a genuine pleasure to experience this car. Visibility through the back is not quite as good as it could be, but everywhere else, it's great. It's a comfortable, calm interior. The suspension is somewhat soft. We just went over some speed bumps. It was not an enjoyable experience, but not bad for a car like this. Obviously, you're not getting a ton of technology with the suspension, like I said before. Parking this car, very easy. It's small, easy to maneuver. It comes with a rear backup camera, so visibility out the back is not great, but you have that backup camera to help you. Decent resolution. And there you go. That's the new Mazda CX-3. Make sure to check out my full driving review of the new Mazda 3 hatch by clicking on the card right there. Also, special thanks to the Furman of Countryside Used Car Division for providing me with this CX-3 to review today. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.